A man, isolated in a seaside city, decided to measure the universe through reason. His name crossed time like a whisper of genius, a symbol of the power of the human mind over matter. Archimedes of Syracuse, the man who moved the world without ever leaving his place. If you love history and science, subscribe now and join me on this journey through the mind of the greatest genius of antiquity. In the 3rd century BC, Greece was no longer the sole heart of civilization. The brilliance of Athens was fading, while new centers of knowledge emerged around the Mediterranean. On the island of Sicily, surrounded by walls and blue seas, rose Syracuse, a prosperous Greek colony, ruled by kings and marked by invention. It was there that Archimedes was born, son of Phidias, the royal astronomer. From an early age, he observed the sky and the sea with a different gaze. Where others saw reflections in water, he saw hidden laws. Where others played with stones, he calculated angles. Where others saw chance, he saw proportion. They say Archimedes did not learn, he discovered. Curiosity was his nourishment, silence his refuge, and mathematics his secret language with the universe. Still young, he traveled to Egypt, to Alexandria, the greatest center of learning in the ancient world. There, the great library gathered the finest philosophers, astronomers, and mathematicians of his time. Archimedes immersed himself in the works of Euclid, Eratosthenes, and Apollonius. Among papyrus scrolls and bronze instruments, he understood something profound. Mathematics wasn't just calculation, it was a way to understand reality itself. Amid maps, models, and equations etched in wax, he realized that every form in the world obeyed immutable principles: angles, circles, proportions. Nature was a great geometric symphony, and within that orchestra of thought, he found his calling. He didn't just want to think, he wanted to prove. Back in his hometown, Archimedes became an advisor and engineer to King Hiero, but his mind never settled within palace walls. He drew on sand, measured shadows, and observed how water flowed through channels. He turned simple play into experiment. While the ancient world still attributed the motion of the stars to gods, Archimedes described them through lines, angles, and ratios. He believed that pure thought could turn the impossible into the real. Thus began the forging of a science that united Greek logic with practical application. The birth of the engineer-scientist. One day, King Hiero summoned him with a puzzle. A goldsmith had delivered a golden crown, but the king suspected part of it had been replaced with silver. Archimedes was tasked to determine its purity without damaging it. For days, he pondered. He weighed, measured, compared. Nothing worked. Until one day, stepping into a bath, something simple, almost trivial, changed everything. As he immersed himself, the water overflowed, and amid the foam, he realized the key to the problem. The volume of displaced water equals the volume of the submerged body. At that moment, the weight of thought was overcome by the lightness of discovery. He ran through the streets shouting, "Eureka, Eureka, I've found it, I've found it." He had discovered the principle of buoyancy, the force that explains why bodies float, the foundation of hydrostatics, naval engineering, and modern physics. With that, he proved that reason could unveil secrets once attributed to the gods and, most importantly, showed that observation is the true origin of science. In another of his studies, Archimedes reflected on force. How could something small move something immense? He realized that a lever, balanced on a fulcrum, could multiply human power. Once he is said to have told the king, "Give me a place to stand, and I will move the world." That phrase crossed millennia as a symbol of the mind's power over matter. For Archimedes, thought itself was the true fulcrum, capable not of moving the physical world, but the world of ideas. Among his most remarkable inventions was the Archimedean screw, a simple helix capable of lifting water by merely rotating a cylinder. Created to irrigate crops in Egypt, the mechanism is still used today in hydraulic systems and treatment plants. He also designed pulley systems that allowed one man to move entire ships. King Hiero, skeptical, doubted it. Archimedes attached a series of pulleys, tied a warship, and calmly pulled the rope. The ship glided smoothly along the dock. The king fell silent, and in that moment, the myth was born: the man who moved the world with intellect. If you're enjoying this story, remember, each week, new minds and discoveries come alive here. Subscribe now and help keep the flame of curiosity burning, because that's how science advances, one thought at a time. But the world does not always reward the wise. In 214 BC, the Roman Republic attacked Syracuse. The peaceful mathematician was called upon to defend his city. Archimedes designed catapults, moving towers, and giant cranes that toppled enemy ships. He invented machines that hurled stones and spears with precision, and, according to legend, parabolic mirrors that concentrated sunlight to set Roman sails ablaze. For 2 years, Syracuse resisted, sustained more by one man's ingenuity than by the strength of an army. The Roman soldiers feared his mind more than his weapons. They called him the sorcerer of machines. But even in war, Archimedes remained a thinker. To him, battle was just another logical problem, a game of angles, ratios, and trajectories. The siege lasted until 212 BC, when Rome finally breached the city. The old sage was on the ground, drawing circles in the sand. A soldier approached, sword in hand, ordering him to rise and follow. Archimedes looked up and simply said, "Do not disturb my circles." Those were his last words. The soldier killed him, not realizing he had ended one of the greatest minds in history. In the sand remained the geometric traces of a life devoted to thought-perfect circles that time never erased. Archimedes' death did not silence his legacy. His writings, sent to Alexandria and preserved by Arab and Byzantine scholars, inspired generations of mathematicians and physicists. Galileo Galilei would later call him the master of masters. Isaac Newton himself declared, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giant sand." One of them was Archimedes. He anticipated integral calculus, described the center of mass, analyzed spirals, and developed concepts of pressure, buoyancy, and static equilibrium, all through pure reasoning without modern instruments. It was the triumph of thought over human limitation. Archimedes sought neither glory nor gold nor power, he sought understanding. His life was an ode to curiosity. He showed that knowledge does not arise from authority, but from doubt. That genius lies not in what one possesses, but in what one questions. He built no temples or empires, but his ideas became the foundations of modern physics, engineering, and mathematics. Today, every calculation, every bridge, every ship, and every satellite carries a spark of the thought born in that bathtub in Syracuse. Archimedes proved that a man can change the world with nothing but an idea, that the human mind, when free to think, is more powerful than any army. He lived more than 2 millennia ago, yet remains present in every equation, every machine, every discovery born of curiosity. Archimedes, the man who moved the world with thought. If you've made it this far, subscribe and ring the bell, for there are still many stories to tell, of minds that lit the flame of reason amid the darkness of time. The history of science is not just about inventions, it's about the courage to question, the strength to imagine, and the power to understand.